What's up, people? What's up to my people, my community, my tribe? I'm lighting incense and shit, trying to clear the aura, clear the bad energy out of this motherfucking country. I hope y'all are doing as well as you possibly can as you're figuring out your space in the resistance. I'm outside, so if y'all hear sirens and loud shit, it's because it's loud as fuck out here. But I wanted to leave this up here to hold myself accountable, and if it blesses somebody else, then great. But this has been in my mind and in my spirit over the past few weeks. What you judge, you will become. What you condemn will condemn you. What you fear, you will attract. The thing that you fear, you'll get more of it. So change your vibration. Because what you resist will persist. It'll keep finding its way to you. So surrender. Step back, observe, remove the lens of labeling it so you can see it for what it is, and then choose who you want to be. Choose who you create, who you are creating yourself to be in that particular moment. You get closer to the essence of who you really are. I know we're all trying to figure out like what our space is and our role. And I know for me, I consider myself a radical creative. I've always seen myself as that in my pursuit of passion and purpose in life. I have chosen a particular career path on a practical level that is unconventional. And so much of the social constructs and respectability politics and the powers that be, I've had to divest from it. And at the same time, there are parts of that system that I've had to lean on because I am a part of the group of individuals that is marginalized, disenfranchised, and poor. I am able to be sustained right now because I have community, family who is love me enough, believe in me enough, and what I represent and what I have to put into the world enough to help take care of me in these moments. But I'm often thinking, for how long? How long is that going to last? And so as we're barreling down on community, as I'm figuring out, what that looks like for me, how am I going to show up? How do I divest? It's taking me time. I've been distant from friends and even my own family, not because anyone's done anything wrong, but because I've needed to get comfortable in the discomfort of the world, right? I've had time to get comfortable in the discomfort of my own life, but now to look up and see planes crashing and fire starting and everybody trying to blame nature, which is the most gentle thing, the most gentle experience that you can have, instead of looking at ourselves and going, no, we did something to it over time, which is why it's having this adverse reaction. God's not sitting. So, and listen, this might be controversial. This might be super controversial, but I do not believe in the experience of God where God is vengeful or jealous or any of those things. God is creator. We have been given power. We are literally made of the same stuff, the same essence as God. And so we have been given the power. As we are connected to source, we are an individuation of that experience, and we get to choose how we're going to show up and what we're going to create. But I digress. That said, I've been taking time to figure out like what the music sounds like, because the gifts are the gifts. I'm going to continue to create, but I also know that I'm very much in my radical, revolutionary, higher consciousness experience of life. I'm not walking around trying to bury my head in the sand or pretend like it's not happening. It is unnatural. And again, what you judge, you will become. So I'm not judging anybody, but it is unnatural for me right now to be getting up, putting on clothes and going, look at what's going on. Planes are falling out of the sky and we're going to brunch. So business as usual is not the same for me. I'm thinking about my grandmother, my great-grandmother. I'm thinking about Langston Hughes, Nina Simone. I'm thinking about Toni Morrison, Zora Neale Hurston. I'm thinking about Maya Angelou. I'm thinking about James Brown. Say it loud. I'm black and I'm proud. Like, think about the time that was written and what that meant for black people, what that meant for the world. I'm thinking about Bob Marley. I'm thinking about who am I, what side of the spectrum of artistry and what I'm contributing am I going to be on? Am I going to be complicit? I said this to a group of friends of mine the other day, and it kind of prompted curiosity. They wanted to know why I said what I said, but what I said was, to some extent and some level, we have all been complicit in allowing the world to be what it is over time. No, maybe you didn't vote for the president that's in office right now, but you patronized all these businesses that have always been who they are and are now coming out and saying, surprise, taking the hood off. Okay. And I use hood specifically, taking the hood off and saying, hey, this is what we always felt. It's always going to be about the money. So we have all, to some extent, been complicit. I was talking to people here, the people who experienced the LA fires, and it's devastating. Devastation, it doesn't matter. No struggle is bigger than the other, right? But I think about that during that time, while people were losing their homes, there were also homeless people that were here already, and upwards of 70,000 people. And I live downtown, so I see them out. And I mean, you watch people just act like those people don't even exist. They don't want to be touched. They don't want to, and also there's people raising millions of dollars for these other group of people over here who had something but lost it. There were people here who were like, arsonists. There were a few people that were highlighted on the news that were homeless. They were starting these fires. And I imagine that is because they were thinking, okay, but what the fuck about me? How y'all gonna fucking raise millions of dollars for these people? But I've been on the streets and I lost my home, not to a fire, but because the system wouldn't allow me. I couldn't sustain paying for it. So all of that to say, like, we have all, there hasn't been a moment yet in the last 100 years, outside of the civil rights movement, where we all literally got up and said, this does not work. And so tragedy, catastrophe, calamity, chaos, I am restructuring my mind around it, and really awakening and understanding and accepting that it is a gift. It's an opportunity for us to see ourselves. Things are happening, and what are we now going to do about it? Are we going to wait for a hero to come and get us? Because Hercules ain't coming. And again, y'all, I know how controversial this sounds, but God is not sitting somewhere waiting to come and save us. This is an opportunity we have called and created for us to see ourselves and decide, who are we going to be? So as we're all sitting and waiting for what the plan is, I hope that y'all are encouraged and empowered to focus on your individual contribution, because every person's individual deposit into the collective is so important right now. It's so important right now. Waiting to listen to somebody else's plan, when really the change needs to happen in you. Because if you're still walking around doing business as usual and there's no level of compassion, humanity that's prompting you to say, I need to shift my individual mindset to be community minded as well. And that's going to be a radical shift for a lot of people. I'm not sitting somewhere looking at the people that voted for Donald Trump and the MAGA and going, I hope they get what they deserve. They're going to get what they deserve because they are denying that they had a hand in it. What I feel led to do is have compassion for people, because what happens to the least of us happens to all of us. There is no man that is free if we are not all free. Y'all stay up.